Dr. Phillip Lee.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. May I begin by congratulating my honourable friend, the member for Totnes, for securing this debate, and also congratulate my honourable friend for her place on the front bench, and I wish her luck in her new role. We're talking about community hospitals today, and I think they're a very important service providing care to all of our communities. In fact, I think there can be a renaissance in community hospital provision in the coming decades, not least of which because the great majority of money that is spent by the National Health Service is not on all of the exciting acute and surgical kit. It is actually on the provision of care to the chronically unwell, and where better for the chronically unwell to be treated than in their communities. I have a particular interest in this area because I have recently, and I do commend my own publication to all colleagues in the chamber. This is a sort of a 70-page document that my office and I managed to put together, which was published in May of this year, in which I actually call for the closure of some acute hospitals and also the merger of community hospitals around the model of what is commonly described as a hub-and-spoke healthcare model. This is quite dangerous stuff, I'm told, by sort of experienced, seasoned politicians. I have been in the press calling for the local maternity unit not to reopen. I have argued that having a casualty department at my local district general hospital would not be in the best interests of my constituents. You may say, well, you know, good luck with your single term in office, Philip. But the reality, and I'm being serious here, the reality is that it's in all of our interests, and I would say on both sides of the House, and it is a pity there are not more members of the opposition here today, it is in the interests of both sides of the House that we get behind the reality of what is happening in healthcare and the delivery of healthcare, because the medical profession, undeniably, I've not met anybody in the medical profession who does not support the principle of consolidation of acute and surgical services and the provision of chronic care in community settings. If you do meet anybody, please put them in touch with me. I would be interested to know their argument for the status quo. Because the reality is that acute and medical surgical care is becoming increasingly complex and increasingly expensive to deliver, and in particular, increasingly difficult to staff. Nowadays, you don't have the sort of Sir Tufton Bufton general surgeon as once was. You have different qualified surgeons within the broad field of general surgery. If I have something wrong with my upper gastrointestinal tract, I want to go to an upper GI specialist. I don't want to go to someone who does it occasionally. I want to go to somebody who does it on a daily basis. This is not possible. It is just clearly not possible on every district general site in the country. And we are beginning to see the realities of this. There is a consolidation of services ongoing in the south of London. It's politically very sensitive, I gather, but it's going to happen, so everybody needs to wake up to that. It has already happened in Norwich. It is happening in Cambridge. I gather it's happened in Swindon. So everywhere around the country, this is happening. Now, I think this is actually a positive move. I don't seek to make any political point or make any political capital out of it, because I know that if there was a Labour government, it would be happening anyway. And I would encourage candidates, as not alone just MPs at the next election, candidates to be more honest about this, because really it is in all of our best interests. Because ultimately, we're here to try and secure a health service that provides the very best for all of our constituents. I want to just move specifically on to my regional case. To give you some background, I still work as a doctor. I intend to continue working as a doctor, not least of which because one morning in Slough is enough reality to keep my feet on the ground. In doing that, I've found that the reality of what we need on the ground in Buckinghamshire, in Berkshire, in South East Oxfordshire is a consolidation of acute and surgical services. I've looked after approximately 50,000 patients in about 50 GP practices throughout the Thames Valley. I have referred patients into every acute centre, and I have worked in every hospital with the exception of the Royal Berkshire. I feel, perhaps, that I might have something to say on the issue as a consequence, and I have come to the conclusion that we need a new hospital at Junction 8-9 of the M4. Yeah. I'm not alone in thinking this. Deloitte were paid significantly more money than I was to produce this wonderful report in 1989 and concluded exactly the same. And that was before Wickham General Hospital had been downgraded as a fully fledged acute surgical site. I'm in favour of the retention of all community hospitals in the region, with the exception of two. One, Heatherwood Hospital, which is the hospital that traditionally serves my own constituency. So when people start saying that I just talk the talk, I am walking the walk. And the other one is St Mark's Hospital in Maidenhead. I want to enhance the delivery of chronic medical services in my constituency in Bracknell at the Brantsbridge site. That's the plan. Now, what I'm trying to do is to build some grassroots support for this, and trying to emphasise, coming back to the topic of this debate, the importance of community hospitals and the services that they offer now, and the fact that they can offer enhanced services in the future. But if we're able to afford this with an ageing population, with an increasingly retired population, with a diminishing position economically at the moment, the reality is that we're going to have to sell off sites to fund it, to find the capital funds to do this. But it is a positive story. We can have new acute emergency hospitals up and down the country, and in rural areas, I recognise, supported by helicopters and the like, but we can do this and we can provide better services, both in the community and in these central, specialised hospitals, delivering the very best healthcare in the 21st century. That is why I'm a proud supporter of community hospitals. I just hope that all members of Parliament step up, of any party, step up to the plate and get honest about this situation so the care in the future for all patients is improved. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay.